Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. Buying cash flowing rentals is, to me, the simplest way to reach financial freedom. And my goal is to teach the average person that you can reach financial freedom in 10 years or less, even if you're not starting from the best position. But what things can you be doing now before you have that first rental or your next rental? This information will work if you're just starting out or if you already have 20 properties. So what I want to do in this video is cover the things that you can be doing now. Buying rental properties is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a get-rich-slow scheme either. What it is a plan to become wealthy and make work completely optional. What it's going to take is time and patience. The goals with my channel is to teach you the strategies and tactics that you can use to reach financial freedom. And let me see if I can get this out without butchering it. One of my favorite quotes is from Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War. Strategy without tactics is the slowest path to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. So my goal is that I help you pick a strategy that you know you can work with. And then the videos teach you the tactics to support that strategy. There are a lot of strategies when it comes to real estate investing. Choosing one is going to be a personal choice based on your end goals, the market you're in, your resources, and the personal skills that you're willing to take the time to develop. If your goal is to generate as much capital as possible, your strategy is probably going to be flipping. If your goal is as many rental units as possible, you're probably going to like the BRRRR method. My strategy is extremely simple. I want to buy cash-flowing properties to make work optional. Picking a strategy isn't the hard part. It's learning the tactics that make you successful at that strategy. Tactics are a little more nuanced than strategies, and one of the reasons why there's more than 100 videos on my channel. An example is, I want to buy cash-flowing properties. But if it makes $1 a year, is it worth the time and effort it makes to get that cash flow? So some of the tactics that I use is I want to focus on properties that get at least a 10% cash-on-cash return or better, so that I know I'm putting my money to its best work. Or I want to focus on properties that help me limit tenant turnover, because tenant turnover is expensive. Things like I want side-by-side small multifamily so that tenants aren't above or below each other, so there's less noise complaints, or a plumbing problem only affects one unit instead of both. I want properties with at least 2 bedrooms and a garage, because more space equals more stuff. More stuff means less likely to move. I want units with a washer and dryer inside the units, because tenants don't like using laundromats or shared laundry. Those are the tactics that help my strategy work faster and easier for me. Before we get that rental, let's narrow down your strategy. In the comments below, let me know what you're going to pick. Are you going to invest locally, at a distance? Are you going to wholesale, flip, BRRRR, buy and hold, single family, small multifamily, residential, commercial, storage? Are you going to house hack? Are you going to do short-term rentals or long-term rentals? There's so many ways that you can invest in real estate that narrowing down the way you want to invest and what you're going to focus on makes it a lot easier to pick the tactics that you need to learn to be successful. Once you narrow down your strategy, then you can start implementing tactics. Here are some tactics that you can implement before you have a rental, or even after you have 20. The first thing that we can be doing now is saving. The tactic of spending less than we earn seems really simple, but almost 40% of Americans never learn this. Can't even handle a $400 expense without going into debt. I've asked several people, how much are you able to save every month? And a lot of times I get this response: I can't save now, I don't make enough. Saving isn't something we do when we make more. Saving is something we do now and improve as we make more. Let me repeat that. Saving isn't something we do when we make more. Saving is something we do now and improve when we make more. So when I'm working with people who tell me they can't save now because they don't make enough, I take the time to try to teach them this business concept. What isn't measured can't be improved. So I ask them, With what you're making now, is it possible for you to take $1 and put it in a drawer and not touch it, not think about it, just $1 a month? Pretty much everybody that I've talked to can take just $1 a month and put it in that drawer. And I say, okay, so you can save, you just can't save as much as you think you need to. If you can save $1 in a month, do you think it's possible to save 5? Because now we have a number, something to work with. Now that it's measured, it can be improved. And the main reason that saving is important before you get your first rental or your next rental is because the more money you have for down payments, closing costs, immediate repairs, and reserves, the more options that open up for you. When it comes to saving, automation is step 2. Some people never learn how to save for investing, but they still end up with a lot of money in retirement accounts because the contributions were done automatically. And we've heard the concept, pay yourself first. That's why 401k deductions are taken out of your paycheck before you receive it. When it comes to saving, set it up to where it's automatic, to where money goes into a place that you don't spend. With saving, you now have something you can be working on today. Here's the second thing. Do some research on credit scores. I suggest the strategy of getting your score above 740 so that you get the best rates. Some of the tactics that you can use are 1, avoid late payments. One late payment on your credit report can last for years. For me, I avoid this by automating every bill possible so that my memory is never the reason my score drops. Second, get a handle on your credit utilization with a goal of keeping it below 10% each month. One of the ways that I did this was call the bank and ask for my credit card limit to be increased. But I didn't spend any more money on that card, since credit utilization is based on a percentage of the available credit that you use each month. I also pay my card off every day. This does a few things. First, I never know what day of the month the credit bureaus are going to check my report, so it's always below 10% since I keep a zero balance. Second, I've never had a late payment on my credit card because it's paid off every day. And third, I don't have to do any mental gymnastics to figure out how much money I actually have because what's in my bank account is how much money I have. I don't have a credit card balance that changes throughout the month that I have to pay at the end of the month. To remember how much that is would be way too much work for somebody as lazy as me. There are a lot of videos here on YouTube that can help you raise your credit score, and I have not seen one of them that require you to own a rental property. So working on your credit score is definitely something you can do now. Now that we know to focus on saving and improving your credit score, it's time to talk to a lender. And yes, talking to a lender is something you do before you talk to a real estate agent. It seems kind of odd that talking to a real estate agent is pretty far down the list of things that we do when our goal is to buy properties. But believe me, there are some real estate agents watching this video right now who, at least inside their head, just nodded saying, yes, please talk to a lender before you call me. There are several different types of lenders, and lenders are not all made the same. I like to start with a large bank because their criteria is the most standardized. This doesn't mean that the large bank is ultimately where I'm going to get my mortgage from, but it's my starting point. Knowing how much you can borrow up to will help you narrow down your search. And lenders are often able to point out things that you can do to make you more likely to get the loan, better rates, and how to borrow a higher amount. Lenders can point out things like working in the same field for 2 years makes it much more likely for you to be able to get the loan. Or, in cases like mine, I had a bad debt-to-income ratio. $89,000 in bad debt in my name that I didn't know about until the divorce. Still can't believe I made that video finally. But a lender suggested that I move from my house into an apartment and rent out the house for 2 years. This got rental income on my tax returns. And since my first rental purchase, my first property that I purchased as a rental was a duplex, and I had tax returns with rental income on them, I was able to include the income from the other side of the duplex in my debt-to-income ratio, making it possible to get a rental when I wasn't making a lot of money and I had a lot of bad debt. In this video, I've given you an actionable set of items that you can do over the next couple of months or couple of years before you even talk to a real estate agent. I will be doing a video on how to choose an agent, but not today. It's a lot easier to choose an agent if you've narrowed down your strategy. What type of property are you going to be looking for? And narrow down your area. Where are you going to be investing? And how much can you borrow up to? You are going to be alive in 5 years. Start living like it. Everything I've mentioned in this video will help you even if you never buy a rental. But you will. And after that, you will buy another. This is the way. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.